Hello everyone. In my previous video, we learned about what the ketogenic diet is all about. And if you wanted to follow one, in today's video, I'm going to go over a food strategy with you of what you can eat while you're on the ketogenic diet. Now, if you're new to this video, make sure you check out my previous video on the ketogenic diet. But just to give you a recap, ketogenic diet is a diet where net carbohydrate is reduced every day from 25 grams to 50 grams. That's 5 to 10%. Total fat consumption is increased between 60 to 70%, and we eat a moderate amount of protein, which is estimated from 15 to 20%. Following this equation, the body is able to metabolize fat as a fuel source. That means you can start burning fat 24/7. And the very nature of having these molecules known as ketones in the diet can have a lot of health benefits. Let's talk about lowering diabetes or enhancing brain function or heart health. Now, there are many ways to get onto the ketogenic diet, but if you ask your friend or maybe the neighbor who lost some weight, they might point you in the direction of something known as dirty keto, which can eventually mess up with your health. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you how to do ketogenic diet the right way. So let's address the elephant in the room, fats. You might be surprised to know, but the ketogenic diet mostly contains fat. But don't worry, this is not the kind of fat that will make you fat. This is the kind of fat that will make you thin. My top 7 recommendations of fat sources are olive oil, MCT or medium chain triglycerides oil, avocado oil, grass-fed butter, ghee, coconut oil, or cacao butter. Now, if you would have noticed, I've only mentioned 7 types of fat, but there are quite a lot more. You might come across canola oil, soy oil, corn oil, or sunflower oil. But I was sure not to put them on the list because they come into a category also known as dirty keto. What is dirty keto? That means all the fats that are coming from vegetable oils have a high amount of omega-6 ratio. What happens is, as you consume them regularly, they can disrupt your omega-3 to omega-6 ratio in the body, which then leads to chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is the underlying cause of all diseases such as obesity, arthritis, or heart disease. The next one is protein. Here are my top 6 recommendations for the kind of protein you should eat. Grass-fed meat, pasture-raised meat, eggs, collagen, seafood, various organ meats, and isolate protein powders. You would have again noticed that I've advocated, and I always advocate for grass-fed and grass-finished meats. And this happens because the meat industry is quite tricky, and you've got to invest your money in certain things such as grass-fed meat, because this ensures a better soil, better environment, and keeps you from investing into cruel practices that happen all over factory farming. And on the health side of things, they keep you away from various hormones and antibiotics which have been considered normal in the factory farming industry. These hormones specifically also give rise to antibodies that develop from drug-resistant bacteria. Also, anyone that you speak to will emphasize that you eat a lot of protein. And this happens because the fitness industry is full of people trying to sell you protein to make your muscles grow big. However, when you look into the science, your body does not really need abnormal or gigantic amounts of protein. It just needs something normal. On the ketogenic diet especially, I would advise you to limit your protein intake from 15 to 20%, as any excess protein that you eat can be converted into liver glycogen in a process called gluconeogenesis. And guess what? This is going to kick you out of ketosis. The next one is carbohydrates. Reducing carbs is one of the key strategies when it comes to getting many of the health benefits from the ketogenic diet. When you're on keto, you should be focusing on having digestible or net carbs. What is net carbs? It is total carbs minus the fiber. That leaves you with net carbs. That's the one you should be counting. Now, the good news is a lot of vegetables are naturally low carb. and they happen to be rich in fiber, which ends up feeding trillions of the microbes. These microbes are responsible for controlling your immune system, inflammation, as well as promoting good neurotransmitters such as serotonin. Here are my top carbohydrate sources for you to have on the ketogenic diet. Vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, celery, spinach, make sure you cook them, zucchini, garlic and onions, and arugula. Some of the carbs that you should avoid is gluten or wheat flour. This also includes breads, muffins, and pastas, corn and its subproducts such as tortillas, polentas, popcorn. I know giving up popcorn is difficult, but you gotta do it. All grains and rice. Now, this doesn't matter if it is white rice, brown rice, jasmine, or the healthy quinoa or buckwheat. All of them have a significant portion of carbs that will kick you out of ketosis. Also, I would advise you not to have any root vegetables such as potatoes, pumpkins, or sweet potatoes because they're high in carbohydrates as well. Also, make sure you cook or heat all of your leafy greens such as spinach to reduce the amount of oxalates, which is an anti-nutrient in them. Now that we have 3 of the major macronutrients covered, let's look at supplementary foods that you can add to your diet. Let's go to nuts and seeds. People often think nuts are pure fat, but they also comprise of some carbohydrates and protein. When consumed in excess, they can kick you out of ketosis. And I recommend reducing that consumption of nuts, especially the ones which are highly inflammatory, such as peanuts and sunflower seeds. What do you eat then? Well, I have a list of nuts that are really good for you. First, almonds, which are high in vitamin E, manganese, and magnesium. The second one is macadamia nuts. They're high in fat, also high in magnesium and thiamine. Walnuts is a great choice, full of omega-3s, Brazil nuts full of selenium, hazelnuts full of vitamin E, and coconut, which are high in phosphorus, iron, and potassium. The next one is dairy. I have a short list for this one because it only includes, or preferably includes, grass-fed butter, ghee, and colostrum. However, if you don't have any grass-fed options, you can stick to the regular ones if you have to. In my experience and research, I believe for feeling and performing at your best, you should avoid dairy options such as cheese, milk, even the full-fat ones. This is because dairy contains a protein called lactose, and when you look around the world, 75% of the global population cannot digest lactose easily. So, good rule of thumb would be to stay away from it. Now, I would also come across a lot of people who include cheese in their ketogenic diet, and I see people consuming cheese on a regular basis. But please be sure that cheese can cause inflammation, and it can cause inflammation throughout your body. This is because cheese is continuously being exposed to mold toxins from fermentation, as well as mold that is usually present in the animal feeds. The next one is beverages. Now, some of the beverages you should stay away from are the ones that are sweetened with artificial sweeteners. When you're starting the ketogenic diet, I would advise you to be aware of your hydration status as well, and even more than before. This happens because on the ketogenic diet, our insulin levels are reduced and the body tends to hold on to less sodium and water. What happens as a result? You would take many visits to the bathroom quite often during the day. So keep yourself hydrated, and if you want to, please use electrolytes or any high quality salt to increase the mineral content in your body. Some of the best beverages to consume is organic coffee. You can have tea such as black, green, or herbal teas. You can have water, you can have bone broth, you can have yerba mate, and this is pretty much it. The next section is fruits. Now, I often hear people telling me that fruits are healthy and they should be included in all sorts of diet. But in the ketogenic diet, however, even healthy fructose, which is a sugar from fruit, can kick you out of ketosis. So as a general rule of thumb, I would advise you please stay away from all sorts of fruits. But if you had to have some just because you wanted to satisfy your taste buds, you can have some coconut or have some low sugar berries such as blueberries, raspberries, or strawberries. You can have some lemon or lime and avocados. Did you know avocado was a fruit? Although Please be mindful that any other kind of sugar will kick you out of ketosis, even if the food label says that it is healthy. Some of these traps that I see people fall in is brown sugar, white, cane or raw sugar, or on the other end of the spectrum I see honey, agave, or any sugar-based syrups. Please stay away from them. The last one on the list today is herbs and spices. Now, spices have been used in many traditions to support the flavor of the food as well as make food healthier and tastier. Herbs and spices are full of antioxidants, and longevity boosting properties of them have been regarded throughout countries in the world. Some of the ones that are really cool is Ceylon cinnamon. Cinnamon is loaded with antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, and can lower blood sugar and has an anti-diabetic effect. You can use apple cider vinegar, which is shown to reduce blood sugar when consumed prior to a meal, and can also help support weight loss and improve digestion. Ginger is another one, full of the bioactive chemical called gingerol, which has anti-inflammatory properties, is a powerful antioxidant, and ginger can also help you prevent muscle pain or soreness, which comes as a part of exercise. Some of the other beneficial spices that you can use or herbs are things like cacao powder, mustard seed powder, oregano, rosemary, turmeric, parsley, garlic, black pepper, peppermint, ginseng, dill, and cayenne. This brings us to the end of our video, and I hope you've got some value out of this. For an in-depth list of foods on what you can eat on keto, head over to my website www.shiftwithcj.com, where you can read all about this in much more detail. Until next time, take care guys, see you soon.